Although I will say, for me, one of the bright spots for me is the whole hashtag Me Too movement. That is a big bright spot. And the reason is, well, actually, this shouldn't be the reason, but it is. It's because I'm the father of a daughter. Although it should be because I'm a fucking human being, but I'm still happy that it's happening. The one thing that's kind of shitty about Me Too for me is it's really put into perspective what an amateur perv I am. Like, I always thought that I was on the bleeding edge of depravity, and then I'm reading all these Me Too reports, and I'm just like, I'm just a fucking bowl of vanilla ice cream. Like, this is no toppings. And apparently, like, a lot of these reports, it's not just one or two guys. There's a lot of guys whose very specific kink is jerking off to women that openly don't want them jerking off to them, which that level of self-esteem and confidence I can only dream of, because you know how shitty you're going to look doing it. Like, even if you, and I've literally had friends of mine that are not my friends anymore that have said, these guys all got consent, man. Okay, maybe they did get consent. First off, I guarantee you the consent didn't look like, yeah! If they got consent, it looked like, just make it quick, right? It'll be quick. You'll be done quick, right? But then even if you get consent, you know, there's no cool way to jerk off in front of, there's no Fonzie way to, like, jerk, like, is that consent? Are you okay? Great. Let me just lean in this doorway with the city skyline behind me at sunset, cigarette in my mouth. I'm just gonna put Roxy Music's Avalon on and then just Jimi Hendrix my way to climax. Like, no, you're not gonna look like that. You're gonna look like an orangutan hunched over in a blizzard, just, like, there's no, like, you will look terrible. Like, there's not going to be an Anais Nin diary entry about you afterward. And then when I saw his cum dribble across his sad knuckles, I knew I had met my matador. Like, no, it's going to be... But they go ahead and do it. What the fuck? I've been jerking off, and I've caught myself in the mirror and gone, oh, fuck, I'm sorry. Oh, ah, oh. Write an email to myself later. I want to apologize, or that is not who I am. I need to. That's their thing. And the other thing that confuses me is there's porn for everything. So was there porn for this and I just missed it? Like, was there porn for jerking off to the unwilling all these years? And it just was off my radar? Like, were there 900 numbers where it's like, our hottest operators are just trying to get to the copier machine? Ooh, but you're blocking the hallway, aren't you, stud? Call 1-900-JUST-FINISH already. Or videotape series in the 80s. Faces of Disapproval, 1 through 9. Asian Faces of Disapproval. Barely Legal Faces of Disapproval. You know, there are hipsters who are like, I'm old school, man. I like the print magazine. That's my thing. Did you see the latest issue of Nope? Oh. Mwah. The centerfold, she's checking her email and rolling her eyes. I came twice before I got my pants off, man. I subscribed to Nope, Fine Whatever, and I used to subscribe to but they went a little neocon in the 80s. I had to cancel my subscription. Jesus. I tried so hard to think of a segue for that. There's just nothing. There's no... Trust me, I tried. Yeah, you know who didn't jerk off in front of people? And like, there's no... It doesn't fucking work. I'm still an atheist, but I think that Jesus existed. And I have a theory about him, which I absolutely cannot support. My theory is Jesus existed, but he was also about 15 or 20 different people. And then over the centuries, it got boiled down to one person when people told stories about it, Jesus. And one of the things I have to back this theory up is I'm 30 years outside of high school at this point. And the 5 or 6 cool guys I knew in high school, I have boiled down into one guy named Craig. Because when I'm telling a story about high school, no one gives a shit about that. I'm just making a point about something. So I boil it all down to Craig. Craig had great weed. Craig played me Pink Floyd's The Wall for the first time. No one gives a shit. Just fine, Craig, got it. The person's not important, it's the story. Now, Jesus, this is thousands of years. And people also forget biblical times were horrible. Way worse than medieval times, way worse than the Dark Ages. Biblical times were a friggin' nightmare. It was the might makes right, no rule of law. You fell down on the street, people hit you with a rock and took your stuff. And other people watched it and went, yeah, you shouldn't have fallen down, I guess. Life's horrible. There you go. And then, just as an evolutionary leap, which to me is just as amazing as miracles and magic, random people, more enlightened, advanced people, just started going, hey, what if I wasn't a raging douchebag all the time? Like, what would happen? And the first time they did that to people, it melted their minds. They had no frame of reference for it. They had no way to describe it, and that turned into stories of superpowers and miracles. They had no other way to describe it. Like, somebody was starving to death. Now, back then, usually, someone would starve to death. You would just stand right in front of them with food. Wow, I have food and you're starving. What are you going to do? And then feed the rest to an animal and watch the guy die, and then... But some random person went, I can't finish this. How about you have it so you don't die? And the person he gave it to was just, like, no way to describe. He'd never seen anything like that before, and that turned into, there was like 5,000 people and like one piece of bread and fish, and everyone had food. It was amazing. Or like Jesus was always driving demons out of people. Well, somebody was sad or depressed, and back then, if someone was sad or depressed, you threw rocks at them until they jumped off a cliff and died. And you went, he was sad, now he's dead. And then you look at the camera and go, biblical times, what are you gonna do? And instead, somebody came up and was like, hey, what's wrong, man? I'll listen to you, just talk to me, maybe we can work this out. I was full of demons. There were all these demons in me, and a guy chased all the demons away. A guy made you feel better. But look, I've had sessions with my therapist where I have been so fucking depressed and horrible, and he's talked me off the ledge. And if he had told me afterwards, there were actually 3 demons in you, and I scared him away, I'm like, whatever works, I'll take it. That's great. Yeah. Demons, got it. Thanks, doc. And raising people from the dead, that was immediate. I mean, it was a guy fell down, boom, in the street. Another guy starts walking towards him. The guy in the street was like, well, here comes my murder. I shouldn't have fallen down. Time for me to get murdered. Because that's what happened. Everyone was used to that. I fell down. I'm going to get hit with a rock. He's going to take my stuff. And instead, the guy walked up and was like, give me your arm, man. I'll help you up. And the guy, as he pulled him up, he was like... And that one, he just immediately turned to his friends and was like, I was just dead. I was just dead. Technically, he was. In his mind, he was dead. That's what happened. You fall down, you die. I was just dead, and I'm lying in the street. This guy starts walking up to me, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to get murdered near this amaranth. And instead, he grabbed my arm, and he pulled me up, and he brought me back from the dead. He already left. I forget his name. It's Jesus or Kirby or something. I don't know, but he was amazing.